Hey, yo, good people of the internet. We are back yet again. It's No Cooldown Podcast, man. We kicking down your damn doors because episode 104. We here. I'm that man Trip. Hope y'all are doing well as we get into, again, possibly the most hellish period of the year when it comes to video games. Stuff is dropping like cats and dogs, left, right, and center, but we are trying to survive our way through it. I am breathing. I'm drinking water. I'm alive. I'm blessed. I hope y'all are as well because we got to get through this, man. We got to get through this to the end of the year. But we're here. I don't have King with me. I don't have Wen with me because they were knee deep in Apex and knee deep in parties at weddings respectively, so they're doing their own things. But I'm not alone this week, y'all. Trust me, I'm not alone. I got some real hard fought backup, some real vets in the building, man. Listen, when you think about the gaming space and dope creators in general, and dope creators in the UK space, to add the cherry on top, it is not hard. All right, it's hard not to come across this man's good work. All right, listen, everything from his agency work to, of course, the Nerd Council podcast and channel, from contents to events everywhere in London, England, all across the UK and Europe at large. Please welcome the gaming dawn from across the pond, y'all. Please give it up for Timi. Timi, what's going on, dog?
That has to be the best intro I've ever had.
Come on.
Any podcast or anything I've been introduced on. That is so sick. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Come on, now we appreciate you for being here, man. Again, just long-standing, have been a long-standing podcast since 2017. You guys over at the Nerd Council, you guys have been doing a bunch of dope work. Again, you guys from events to, again, the content you guys drop on your respective channels and the combined channel. You guys do good work, and it's a pleasure to have you on. You know what I'm saying? Finally, we got it locked in. We here, but make sure, you know what I'm saying, you can let the people know where they can find you.
The Nerd Council across all platforms. We've got the Nerd Council website. That's the nerdcouncil.co.uk. You find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, Bebo, MySpace. Like, if search us, we're there. You find us. Don't worry about it.
Ain't no excuse, y'all. Ain't no excuse. Make sure I go check out the Nerd Council's content. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of stuff good going on there. But without further ado, we got to get right into your story because there's a fair bit of them. And we got to start off probably with a decently sized one. So without further ado, Timi, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, man. Let's do it.
Let's get to it, man. Let's talk about the main course for today. Starting at the Sony State of Play from last week. Of course, they dropped their last minute updates out of nowhere. Yeah, definitely was going to be in September. And we're going in a bit of a reverse order, but it's okay because we got to start here. We have to start at the biggest drop, the biggest announcement from Sony State of Play for September 2024. Ghost of Yotei. Yes, Ghost of Tsushima has a sequel of sorts, a sequel and an additional title. Sucker Punch is back in the helm. They're back at the front seat. I'm happy, dog, because there's a bunch.
Listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. I saw that trailer. I was like, yeah, we're back.
We're so back.
You know that meme where it's like, PlayStation, like, we lost us and now we're back. We're back again.
We're so back, literally. Again, just to give y'all some details on this again, it's going to be set 300 years after Ghost of Tsushima in 1603. We're going to have a brand new protagonist in Atsu. Again, she was showcased throughout the trailer. Got a bunch of new weapons. Again, just some intention to differentiate it from Ghost of Tsushima in a new region. It's going to be in Hokkaido. There's a whole lot of new stuff coming, mechanics, animals, again, just whole new locales that you can see. There's a bunch of new. It's a bunch of new. So gut reactions, Timi, give it to me. How are you feeling?
I was ecstatic. I can't even lie to you. I saw from the minute of the trailer dropped, I was like, okay, Ghost of Tsushima 2. Then they changed it obviously to Ghost of Yotei, and I was like, cool, I'm ready for it. Yeah. Here for it. The fact that it's 300 years after the events of Ghost of Tsushima opens up so many doors for what they could do with this game, because there's advancements in technology. There's discussions about what the Ghost or what the Ghost is since, about 300 years ago. Yeah. We don't know how that's going to advance in terms of the world building. There's a lot to talk about. And I think the thing I'm excited about, for me again, is just the exploration, because that game, the first game was beautiful, bro. That opening sequence,
ridiculous.
That opening sequence is still one of the best opening sequences to any game.
Big facts.
If they can replicate that, they're happy. Take all my money. Take it.
I agree. I gotta agree 100%, man. It's just, I love this franchise to the hilt over the past decade is top 3 one of my favorite games. Ghost of Tsushima is probably one of my favorite IPs to have ever come out. Honestly, me personally, it's my personal, possibly be my top 10. I think it would be my top 10 IPs of all time, just off of the strength of the first one. It struck me that much because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a slut for, you know what I'm saying, like old ancient Japan stuff, the setting, the locales, you know what I'm saying, samurais, ninjas. Like, I love that medium, I love that type of exploration, that direction, and just how the package came together, how the story, the environments, the characters, just all of it meshed into the first experience. I became a fan instantly. So seeing this is an absolute delight, and not only getting, that kind of brackets on the first story, but also, again, it's going in a direction where I feel like they're so smart. This is kind of like, again, this is we'll also get into the kind of the talk and chatter around the game soon, but this kind of reminds me of how Assassin's Creed Shadows, how they're kind of taking Yasuke as a protagonist, and like, since there's not too many details around his life outside of a couple of hard concrete things, they're like, yo, we can actually do a lot more with expanding the story and talking about his travels and his interactivity with the world. Making a jump 300 years after Ghost of Tsushima gives them a lot of wiggle room to not only tell a new story with a new environment, new characters, and build on that, but also they can harken back to Ghost of Tsushima and some references. Again, like, a lot of people are talking about the legend of the ghost and how it really grew beyond that, because you already saw how it played out to where, people ended up being a little bit fearful of the ghost in real time when he was started to get his stripes together. Now 300 years after, if somebody picks up the mantle or they speak of the ghost, how does that play out in Hokkaido? How does that play out in a lawless land that they were describing in the sequel series?
You know what? There's nothing stopping them from having a story where it's almost as if the ghost never died. The ghost is this immortal kind of being, that's just existed for all this time. And if they do that, I'm in for it. I would love them to kind of delve more into not too much mysticism, because obviously we've got that with the DLC kind of had it, and the multiplayer stuff had it as well. But if they can touch on that as a mechanic to expand on the ghost kind of story, I think that'd be pretty interesting.
And it's a funny parallel they can definitely do, like the Mask of Zorro. I don't know if you ever seen those movies and stuff with Antonio Banderas and Anthony Hopkins and stuff, the lineage of the, you know what I'm saying, that lineage of the mask. You could literally pass it down and show. You don't have to do it, but either somebody inadvertently takes up that mantle, or they they use it, or maybe again there might be a secret plot line where there's a descendant of Jin or something like that, and they figure out how to get involved in the world. Either way you do it, if you kind of encapsulate that feeling of the mantle of the ghost is there, and people know that mantle, people are afraid of that mantle, or they revere that mantle. Either way you see it, if you can have that piece of story, that piece of kind of narrative around the land in the new game, I think that would be fire. I think that would be fire. That represents so much shit.
There's one route that they should not take, and I hope they don't take it. Very if they kind of link or make the ghosts similar to the Assassin's Guild, where there's multiple ghosts, that would ruin it for me. That would ruin it for me heavily. I don't want multiple ghosts. I don't want
what makes you say that?
Sorry,
what makes you say that? They're just
it's just my line of thinking. Because there's so much wiggle room. Because 300 years is a lot of time to fill.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of room to be okay, well, Jim was the first ghost. Maybe he took on an apprentice, or maybe he took on someone to take on the mantle. Then 2 or 3 generations down, someone decided we shall have a whole bunch of ghosts, that almost like a quote unquote ghost army. That would kill it for me.
Yeah, I think that
kill it for me so hard.
And I feel like that kind of strays a lot away from how the ghost originated, in a sense. It's they're it's just one. I thought it was just one guy at first, and then it just got bigger than itself. Again, it's weirdly enough, again, another parallel, what's it called? Batman Arkham Knight. How that kind of played out to where Batman's dead, but I guess the spirit of Batman, or the spirit of vengeance in that shit is the fear toxin, or blah blah blah. It represents something bigger than just the man itself. He is a contingency, or it's the city knows about him through fear or something like that. And it's the idea of it is more than just there's multiple fucking ones. It's an actual feared concept, and it's in a singular body, not just a whole militia of people. That I feel that does kind of defeat the purpose of it a little bit. I agree with you on that. I think it would be okay if Atsu was some type of lineage of Jin, but I'd be whatever, that's okay. I'd be base level, but I think it would be not necessarily a cop out, but I wouldn't necessarily enjoy it if it was like a whole, like, again, militia of ghosts that are somehow operating this lawless land and stuff like that. I don't think that would best serve what the ghost was and what the ghost could be. You know what I'm saying? That concept that people are like in, again, this Wild West, this unconquered land and stuff, where a bunch of rebels and like radicals and shit live in this region, like Hokkaido, like they were describing. Like, I don't know. I feel like that just seems to maybe a bit on the nose. I'm not sure if I'm describing it right, but I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that.
No, you're right. It just sounds like it would ruin what made the first game special.
Yeah, I heavily agree. Heavily agree, man. But again, with that new the new combat mechanics and stuff, I can't wait. I just want to see how like the wind shit it evolves and stuff. I just want to see how the exploration mechanics evolve around it, because I know they're going to try and add some extra tweaks and stuff like that and bed in. I know these environments are going to look fucking sick. They're gonna look sick, and I'm here for it. I just want to get lost in it again. And I think, speaking of Lost, honestly, we've had some conversation around it. Again, unfortunately, the anti-DEI bug has caught all this shit too. And I'm just like, bro, what are we doing here, bro? Yeah, like, unfortunately, I do gotta mention it, because it's just like, again, people are mad. Like, they were like, okay, we just wanted more Jin Sakai. And I'm like, bro, if you played through this shit, I feel like he had a definite like stopping point. Like, you could have definitely put brackets and moved on from this shit. But I don't know. Like, I think people are wigging out. But what do you think, Timmy?
Don't get me wrong. There's definitely room for a second game with Jin. There's no dispute or question about that. But there was definitely an end point with the first game, right? So there's nothing wrong with the sequel being set years apart with a different character. Nothing wrong with that. The issue I have, and the issue I'm continually having with people on the internet, and a particular set of people on the internet, is that they are never going to be satisfied with the current state of gaming at all, because as far as they're concerned, it's been quote unquote being ruined by, as they call it, DEI, wokeness, all that kind of what kind of shit, bro? What kind of shit? So
Don't even mince it.
And it pisses me off, because they're making it seem as if black protagonists in gaming haven't existed, women in gaming haven't existed, female protagonists who are the main protagonists have never existed. All these kind of things that encapsulate the multiple genres within gaming and the multiple games that exist within the space. They're thinking of it as, oh, these are new things that have only happened over the last 4 or 5 years, and it's ruining the space for us men who are really guys and we want to play guys games, and women came into gaming and ruined it, and blah 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 blah, and I can't jerk off to this female character no more because you didn't give her big boobs, and oh, she looks too masculine, or oh, you took away her. I'm just like, go and touch grass, please, for the love of God. Go outside and literally go and touch some grass, because you're the only ones complaining. Because while you're here complaining about Ghost of Tsushima 2 having a female protagonist, the rest of us are out here getting excited.
Bro, like,
I don't get it, man.
You know what I mean? Like, it can. I think you're right. I think it just baffles me how, like, they find the hill to die on every time, and it's like, bro, you guys bring this war into games that I think you're either gonna play eventually or gonna be mad that you didn't play because you're dying on this stupid hill. Like,
let them die. We're good to the funeral. Let them die. Sorry, let them die. Let them die.
I hear it.
It's ridiculous. Because half them, like I said, half of them are gonna play the game anyway, complain about the game, but they're still gonna play it. If you complain about, don't play it then. It's not my force.
Facts.
It's not my force.
Facts, bro.
I'm tired of them.
And it's funny because honestly, some of these stats show that most people don't even buy new games. They just playing all the same old shit most of the time. So it stands to reason that there's a decent percentage of people who are complaining on these specific issues that are literally not playing these games whatsoever. They're just finding up these different sticks to just like, oh, like run at and stuff, and you're still playing on a PS4. Like, gang, what? This is not for you yet. Like, what do you mean?
You've never played an Assassin's Creed game in your entire life, and yet somehow you're now offended because Assassin's Creed now has a black and a female protagonist. What the hell are you talking about, bro? You've never talked about Assassin's Creed in your life. You've never even tweeted Ubisoft in your life, and all of a sudden, oh, they're ruining it and making up a fake samurai who's a black guy, and it was never a black guy. I'm just like, go touch grass, please.
Like, dog,
it will help.
You be pre-ordering Call of Duty every year, bro. This might not be your lane. This might not be your lane game.
You might not be playing Call of Duty every fucking year, right? While the rest of us are playing a diverse roster of games, and yet you want to come into our space and talk about that games are being ruined for you, even though you're not buying those games, you're not playing those games, you're not even interacting with those communities.
Yep.
You just want engagement on Twitter. Get your engagement then. It's fine. You get your engagement.
Yeah.
We'll be here playing our games. It's cool.
Simple, bro. It's like, again, it's funny enough because Sean Layden literally came out like in the past few days and he was like, bro, if you guys don't like it, don't play it. It's literally that simple. But again, people want this totalitarian view of their space where they don't even want to see anything that looks different from them, which is, again, stupid because it's existed and differences have existed over the gaming space with single player games, whatever kinds of games, for years. Literally, again, everybody says the most definitive version of the Mass Effect playthrough is with Jennifer Hale, the female shepherd. You know what I'm saying? With Femme Shep. So it's like these flashpoints and shit have existed, but y'all just want to complain about them now because y'all ain't got nothing better to do. It's just very annoying. But I know this doesn't really take away from what the hype of this game is, because I am absolutely on board with it. I think, again, them making the time skip, them changing their protagonist to something fresh it's smart. They're covering their bases, and I think it adds in when you see some of these reports as well from like New York Times reports and such. They were like, listen, this is going to be more of a big rollout for the Ghost franchise. Again, we know the Ghost movie is coming out with Chad Stahelski for the John Wick films. Again, this sequel's coming out. They're on track to make this one of the big standing IPs, another like Sony omni-channel cash cow, like other IPs like The Last of Us, like again Spider-Man in some respects. They're trying to really build this up. So I know they can't stop the rain. I know Sucker Punch can't stop what Sony wants to do with their IP, but I think they're making a smart decision with spacing out the subject matter, spacing out the material, so people aren't necessarily tired of what they're seeing every single time out. But again, we've seen these reports all over that they're going to be a franchise. So, Timi, how do you feel about that?
Excited for it, man. I mean, initially, I was a bit concerned about Ghost of Tsushima. Is it a movie or TV show? I keep forgetting.
It's a full movie.
It's a full movie. Okay, that might be even better. That might be even better than a TV show. Because I think it will allow them to play around more with scenery and stuff. Yeah. But I'm excited for it. I think it'll be good. Pair that with like the sequel coming up, I think it'll be good. But I don't want them to do too much. I don't want it to be a case of, okay, movie, then a TV show, then an anime, then like a one-shot comic. Yeah. And then like just like enjoy what you have. You've done enough.
No, like for real.
That was good.
For real. They're in the green like crazy. Again, it's just like, I know with Sony, they want to have, again, I remember the other day they were talking about, oh yeah, we don't have enough IPs. Again, we were talking about this on the pod as well. They don't have enough. Too many. Yeah, they don't have enough IPs that work like The Last of Us. That was the way they wanted to word it. We don't have IPs that make enough money across all channels like The Last of Us does for us. That's what they mean. So they're trying to push everybody towards that same function. And it's like, I don't want you guys to overdo it. You know what I mean? But if studios can help it, and if they can inject their creative vision to make certain things, so I think this is a very smart way to go about it, so people aren't too over encumbered with the same like pinpoint spot of IP every single time. Like, again, like jumping from, okay, you get a Ghost of Tsushima show, you get a Ghost of Tsushima movie, anime, and it's all Jinsakai, same thing, same story, blah blah blah. You get ran down a little bit. So them being able to switch the gears and be like, yo, we taking this somewhere else. So it's still the Ghost spirit, it's still the ethos of the IP and what we made, but we're taking you to a different spot, like Cyberpunk did with kind of like with I would say, yeah, kind of like Edge Runners in a certain bit, at least took it to a different slight spot. And it's not like the exact same rundown of what people saw, giving the people a different look, like League of Legends Arcane, you know what I'm saying? It's a different look, or a different timeline. It's like giving different perspectives and angles of the IP instead of just staying, oh, we right in the same little pocket right here. You're not gonna get nothing else but the same storyline right here. We just gonna, we gonna tweak a couple things, but you're gonna get the same thing. They're not doing that, and I'm glad they aren't. So we'll see. But overall, this was the best. This was the only announcement I was looking for, honestly. Before the state of play, this is the only thing I wanted.
Let me never lie to you. I think the last 2 or 3 state of plays have been very dry. I think they've been so dry. Like, I don't know whether that's just because of the titles that are coming up, or that when the state of plays came out, there wasn't anything really to be talking about. But they've just not been that exciting. And I don't think that's a reflection of what's going on at PlayStation per se. because sometimes you just need to do an update for an update's sake, innit?
Yeah.
And I think anything's wrong with that. But in terms of excitement, they just weren't there. Having the Ghost sequel at the end made up for a boring segment, but I would prefer the next state of play not be till April.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't do anything till April.
I agree. I have to side with you right there. And I feel like it might be a little bit of like a changing of the guard in this respect, or at least it should be a mentality switch. Again, we talk about how state of play should be run in the gaming space generally. I think people should start to err towards Nintendo's way of thinking to like, if you don't have the title ready within a year, don't put it on a state of play. Don't put it on I don't think we're ever gonna get like a PSX or a PS experience or a major Xbox keynote again. I think everybody's gonna kind of stick with these part and parcel showcases every couple of months or whatever. But if you don't have it ready to go within a year, don't drop it. Don't say, you just pull a Nintendo and say like, yo, listen, we got these games, they're coming out within the next like two days to a year, and so you can expect this over the next year. Good luck, we'll see you next time. And that's it. I would rather them do that, which I think it may be them starting to kind of turn the gear and start to try and do. They had to fill this with some stuff, but again, this was like the piece that is just on where I was like, all right, cool, you got that. The rest of these I can understand, but hopefully they start saving themselves up more, especially when we get into the next generation, because I want them to have titles, but I also want to have them in like a timely manner and not like say, oh, it's been freaking 3 years since we saw this last trailer. Like, what the hell? This thing got revealed in like before the pandemic, and we just now seeing this shit. Like, what? What do you mean? Like, I don't want that. So yeah, it's there. But listen, Ghost of Yotei, that's gonna be a contender, baby. That's gonna be a contender. Yeah. Oh my gosh, bro.
The thing is, I don't even know if there can be another game that's going to compete with it when it comes out, because the first one was phenomenal. So if you're a studio looking to release a game, do not release a game when this game comes out.
Get out the way, bro. You know the one thing I always champion about certain games. Don't be afraid to drop in summer, because I think the paradigm has shifted for a lot of people. This one dropped in like June, I think, of 2020, and I was like, bro, that's why I got so much extra love on top. At least a part of the reason, because there was nothing around it like that. At least when I remember, like, I don't think there was any games like major releases around that period. And they got all the end of the summertime to just soak up and get all that love and acclaim. And now people like are solidified with it. They just absolutely like adore it, like myself. But I think they might be due for another summer drop again, 2025, if they're fully ready to go. And if that's the case, move the hell out the way. Summer is no longer safe for y'all. I'm sorry, it's over. Yeah, like it's done. Man, that's insane. But we can move on to the rest of this state of play showcase and talk about some other things. Did you get a chance to look at the Midnight Walk? It was like I think it was VR based, but it was like handmade claymation type stuff, a horror-esque game. What'd you make of that?
I did see it. It looked pretty interesting, but I think it's a shame that it came so late in the state of play, because I kind of checked out like halfway through, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, just because of what they were showcasing in state of play, and it wasn't really grabbing me. Yeah, I was half asleep until Ghost of Yotei came out.
Yeah, I can't even lie. Like it was like I was side looking at it. I love the style of it though. It feels very, very like when I saw from the people who made Lost in Random, it made so much sense. But I'm actually pretty intrigued in this. I'm going to make a pass at horror games again. I'm going to try and make a pass. Me generally, I dodge that shit. But this reminds I can't. I'm my heart, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't got no heart condition, but I got a heart condition, if you understand what I'm saying. Like, it's one of those where I'm just like, I don't know if I want to risk it, gang. But it looks really, really cool. Like, I get Coraline, I get like a Nightmare Before Christmas vibes, like very the stop motion, clay motion, that little distinct look and feel, the movement of everything I like. So I'm interested in seeing what this is. Again, I'm probably not gonna get the VRs because I don't have any VR shit, but for PS5, I'm definitely willing to give it a try. And again, from the people who made Lost in Random, they have earned some credit in the bank for me for Lost in Random, so I'm definitely gonna keep my ears open for it. I'd say that. And we can slide on here. We can talk about, what was this one here? The Hell is Us. Hell is Us. This is actually an older game from, again, 2 years ago that we just saw pop up again.
Really?
Yeah. It actually showed up. It was, I think it was some state of play in, let me check the timestamp because I have it here. It was April 12th, 2022. So it was dropping there. It was supposed to drop in 2023, but it got some delay. And of course, we got some extra details about what it is, what it's going to be. It's not necessarily a Souls-like. They're focusing on really giving you all the tools that you need to just dive in, have fun with it, half combat, half exploration. You got drones that kind of are companions with you, magic and weapon abilities. There's literally like no hand holding they've claimed with the exploration at all. Like they're saying, just dive in, go find out what you need to find. There's no quest markers, no icons. It's a full, true and tried exploration / combat experience. What'd you make of Hell Is Us?
When is it coming out?
I believe the teaser that they gave us 2025. They just gave us the year.
Man, I'm trying to even remember what the gameplay was for that, man. Because like, again, bro, State of Play had to check out proper early. and I remember seeing the title come out. I'm like, Hell Is Us.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
It looks interesting. I ain't gonna lie. Some of the aesthetics of it kind of remind me of like, at least on the character front, remind me a little bit of Death Stranding. Just at least on the main character, kind of. But the combat looks pretty cool. I would see I want to check the fluidity of it just to see if it's really there. The character, like some of the enemy types, kind of look like no bites from Kingdom Hearts. I don't know why that just stuck out to me, but it does. But I don't know. It does have some of that like Death Stranding kind of vibe to it. Like there's a lot more like foreign, like alien type like objects and stuff in it, at least to me, like some of the structures and some of the enemy types. But it looks interesting enough. It looks interesting enough to see what's going on. 2025 again is the toughest window you could possibly give to try these games out, but we'll see how it rocks. But I mean, listen, I have some level of intrigue. I got a side eye towards this, not a bombastic side eye, but a side eye. All right, word. There was another game titled Archeage Chronicles. I believe that was an existing IP. And again, this game is gonna be set 50 years after the original. Gonna switch more to an action RPG route. I originally thought this was Crimson Desert. I originally thought it was Crimson Desert, which was that, but it looks like, again, like co-op multiplayer type, very medieval times, mystical. It looks cool. It looks interesting. Did you get any looks at that?
Not my kind of game, man. Not my kind of game.
Oh, fair.
What I do want to talk about is the new Dragon Age coming out, bro.
Yeah, listen. Oh, that Dragon Age game.
It's been on my wish list since they announced it.
Oof. Talk about it. Talk to me. Listen, because I think it's gonna be a sleeper for Game of the Year. I think it might be a contender. I think it might get in. It might get in.
Because Inquisition was an incredible RPG game. Mm-hmm. So, and they've improved the combat so much. Yeah. Like, I'm rewatching all the gameplay videos for the combat, and I'm just like, yeah, this game is going to fucking slap when it comes out. It's going to fucking slap. It's what weeks away, aren't we? It's out in
October 31st, Halloween.
Yeah. It's gonna Game of the Year.
Listen,
easily gonna win Game of the Year. If not be a contender, but it's gonna slap.
I think it's gonna surprise a lot of people. Again, it came out to all like the outrage and all the things like, oh, why does it look like this and da-da-da. I'm like, listen, from a look wise, I get why people might be up in arms about it, but from everything they've shown, from the gameplay, the classes, the world, every little tidbit that they've shown us along this development, like this rollout, this market rollout, has been good, surprisingly, really, really fucking good. And I'm just like, bro, if y'all not careful, y'all gonna slander a potential Game of the Year nominee. I'm sitting here like, y'all better put your hands up if this thing drops to some heat. And if this drops to some heat, this gives me immense hope for the next Mass Effect game. So I need this to rock. Not because I only like Dragon Age, I want it to be a good game, but if BioWare's back, that means the industry is up right now. That's all I know. So I want it to be a hit. But everything, all the signs, all the indicators that I've seen so far, it suggests that this will be going to be a really, really good game. So
it's gonna slap immensely, and I think it's gonna take a lot of people by surprise just how good it is. I'm looking forward to it.
Honestly, I mean, I've been interested since it first dropped, just with the fresh look and the gameplay. Again, that stuff, it felt a lot more fluid to me when I saw it. Yeah. So I was like, oh yeah, nah, I wanna check it out. I'm definitely down for that. Moving on, we just got an announcement for the release date for Dynasty Warrior Origins, launching January 17th. You into Dynasty Warriors? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you ain't seen it in a minute? Nah. Nah,
don't be
fairs, but I will say, keep an eye on it. I ain't gonna lie, with the graphics of this generation now, I think it's been a little bit since we got one. I feel like it looks they've implemented a lot of cool stuff in there. There was a little certain segment where you were kind of fighting in the crowd. Like, again, you do a combo, you knocked out like 1,000 enemies, but at some point you're gonna fight like the generals or whatever, and the crowd will literally disperse, and so you can run 1v1s with people. Like, it'll just like randomly disperse at certain times. You can just run the fade with other specific like people who want to step up and challenge you in the middle of the war, like in the middle of a battlefield. And I think that's super cool. So if you just want some like super dope like tag and slash beat 'em up type shit, I would say keep it side eye on this. I think this might be a good way to launch the year in 2025. Jan 17th, I think that's solid. Moving forward though, Monster Hunter is going to be on February 28th. I think this is a game of the year contender personally. I think this is going to be a game of the year contender. Monster Hunter, I have been seeing get more and more like close regard into like that mainstream level. I think if this game drops properly and they really, again, it's just the frame rates that like get me the most about this game. If they could get that somehow consistent when it drops, I think this is gonna be an early shout for a game of the year nominee. Me personally.
Do you think they do enough to get new players to join the community as well?
With the co-op and with the more open world style, I think it will, because in a rare way, Monster Hunter is one IP that warrants more of an expansion of their play area. I think so, because of how, again, the world set up, how again like the hunts and stuff are, you know, laid out, again, quest lines, co-op, joining with your play with other people and stuff like that, the different biomes that you're in. I think that heavily warrants an expansion of where they are, and I feel like that natural progression of where their environments build to, I feel like people just kind of look at it in a more positive light. Again, you see it with like the Breath of the Wilds of the world and stuff, the Tears of the Kingdom. I think people in open world spaces, again, there's some backlash to it, of course, obviously, but to more, I'd say slightly more casual audiences, the bigger audiences, it might be looked upon more favorably, especially if there's a lot of stuff to do in that world and traverse through that world. So I think Monster Hunter's poised to be, I think it's going to be in the conversation. I think it's definitely going to be in the conversation.
I think definitely deserves to be in the conversation, but game of the year, wow.
I think it could be, man. I think that's a sleeper pick. 2025 is, and we'll talk about this at the end of the show, but next year is going to be disgusting. But I think this can, if it does its numbers and it does what it's supposed to do from a performance standpoint, as well as the content and quality, which I think those other two have, but the performance is what I'm really most concerned about. If they get that right off the rip, I think they got a strong case to hold some real weight from the release date into the summer, and that might be enough to warrant and say, hey, we're in this game of the year race, and I think we can really, you know what I'm saying, make a case for ourselves in the midst of everything else.
I hear that.
Yeah,
I hear that for real.
It's interesting, man. But we'll see, man. We'll figure it out in time. But looking at the rest of the show, I mean, there was Horizon Zero Dawn remastered, Legacy of Kain remastered 1 and 2. I actually want to go back and look at those. Hitman VR 2, Fantasia Neo Dimensions dropping December 5th. I'm kind of interested in that game. Luna remastered, the free Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles DLC that dropped is already out. The Sonic and Shadow Generations movie pack that has Keanu in the game with certain specific levels. That's actually pretty cool. Metro Awakening VR, Fear the Spotlight. There's a couple other interesting ones there, but overall, how would you rate the show? Give me a letter grade from like A+ to, again, like you can go to F.
C minus.
C minus. Fair.
Yeah.
I would.
Okay, but needs improvement.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, I'd say C minus as well. I ain't gonna lie, I gotta side with you. I was low key on glaze and give it a C because of Ghost of Yotei specifically, but I can't let Sony off the hook like this. I can't fully.
Ghost saved it from being like an E.
Yeah, no, I ain't gonna lie to you. It pulled it up from the depths. That was the one where it's like, oh, that's a bomb. We needed to know that. We already saw Monster Hunter. We already saw Dynasty Warriors. It's good to get those release dates, but we could have got that anywhere else. Alan Wake 2, I know we didn't talk about the Lake House DLC, but I'm glad that it is getting DLC, and they're starting to really move towards the like melding the Control world, and we're close to getting Control 2, so those things coming together is really cool. Again, scary, like horror games and horror survival shit is scary as shit, and my heart, again, I got medications for that. But Alan Wake is a really cool story. Alan Wake 2 is a fantastic fucking game. So the fact it's getting DLC and it's moving to merge together the Remedy IPs, I think that's really cool. So that's launching in October. I think that would be a nice little expansion pack for people. I would say C- as well. The overall Ghost of Yotei was really the thing that just held it up against everything. Like, dog, we needed better. But hey, Ghost of Yotei is here, so you know what, y'all might get a pass for that. All right, we can start to slide forward here. We can talk about the quick bites, talk about some quicker stories. We had some rumors here talking about Starcraft. Yes, Starcraft. If people are still familiar with this damn IP, I know some, you know what I'm saying, some of the youngins might not even know what the hell this is, but there was a report, according to Jason Schreier, Blizzard is starting to, you know, poke around and poke and prod and think about a shooter and creating a shooter game in the Starcraft universe led by Dan Hay, who's had some experience with the Far Cry franchise. How you feel about this?
I'm neither here nor there with it, man. I need to see proof of concept first. I with everything that Blizzard have got going on at the moment, I need proof of concept first before I even think about getting excited for it.
Yeah, I fully agree. And this is the thing where it's like, I know that Activision, Xbox, they're gonna be in the mood for like first party shit. They're gonna want first party shit to the hilt. And I honestly think StarCraft is a fantastic IP to kind of merge that way and kind of do a different genre, but also bring more eyes to the IP. Again, I think of Warhammer. I think of Warhammer 40K and how Space Marines 2 had this amazing drop, and how a lot of new people are involved in the IP because they got a really good third person shooter about it. And I think that can have a similar effect if implemented correctly for StarCraft. Because again, I'm not the most knowledgeable on StarCraft whatsoever. I just know it's a classic. It's a legacy IP with all the, you know, the RTS, the 4X, all those kinds of strategy games of old, and bring it into a modern light and bring it into a different genre like an FPS or a third person shooter. It could be the right move, but again, it has to be cooked correctly. And we just got to see that. Show me the Carfax, man. Show me the Carfax. That's as simple as it gets. Simple as it gets. But we can talk about the next story here. So this was a funny one. Oh shit. So the day before, I don't know if you guys remember that scam. I don't know if you remembered, those guys from over there. So apparently, Fantastic. They're no longer Fantastic 1.0 guys. They're Fantastic 2.0. And the day before, devs have returned and launched a Kickstarter, and they were just basically saying, "Listen, guys, give us a chance, man. Give us a second chance. We want our development to be focused on honesty, baby. It's the best policy now." So, Timi, how you think about that, man?
You had your chance and you ruined it, bro. You did not deliver. Nah. I'm not here for it, man. That game was, I don't think even disappointing can describe how bad that game was. That game was bad.
Yo, it was like, you know, the thing, the meme where Stephen A goes, "We've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, like run amok and flat out deceived, bro." That was, again, my barometer of like leading on in gaming is Star Citizen. I'm not gonna lie. That's my barometer of everything. You've surpassed it in showing even less gameplay in such a long span of time. And you finally come out and show something, and it was that ass. You got taken down. Everybody had to issue refunds.
There was no beta testing. There was no kind of testing. They did not test that game out, man.
Bro, they was testing motherfuckers' patience. That was the only testing that was really going down. Motherfuckers, it was ridiculous, bro. Oh my gosh. But you know what's funny? Apparently there were some data miners that kind of ran through just what was going on with their next game and the Kickstarter stuff and all that. And apparently they were asset flipping this next game too. So they're taking assets for the new game that they're working on for the Kickstarter. I'm just like, bro, like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? Bro, we don't give up. You guys lost trust.
Okay.
You guys lost trust with everybody, dog. We don't need it. Not
everyone's meant to be a game dev. It's all right.
And we get it. Gaming is a lucrative business. I understand. But if you do the wrong thing, you will never get another chance in this motherfucker. And you don't have another chance.
Gamers are not forgiving, bro. You disappoint us once, you never have our trust again, man.
Bro.
No matter how good your previous games are, if you disappoint us in a bad way, you will never have our trust ever again, man.
Like,
I don't care what you come up with.
The worst thing you can do is have a bad first impression in video games. That is the worst possible thing you can do. You buy yourself no time. You have no leeway whatsoever, bruh. If you make a good first impression, you can last potentially a lifetime because somebody will reluctantly believe in you. Again, somehow Star Citizen is still alive and has $1 billion into that damn project and it ain't even out in the 1.0 thing. I don't even know. But again, bad first impression. Day before, listen, you should have thought before you dropped that post saying y'all are back, bro. Go home. Go do something with your lives. Go home.
In fact, I would have preferred for them to have made the game, yeah, and then just drop it. Just release the game. Release the game. We don't need to know you're back.
Yeah.
We know you're back when you release a new game, but nah, that game was foul.
They would have to give their earnings or whatever. Even if they dropped it for free, their acknowledgements would be half like 13 other games and like 7 other studios who like put their asses in that shit. Like, it is ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man. Ain't no way, bruh. Ain't no way. But we can slide on here. We can talk about Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza. Again, they announced a brand new game, a spin-off game with Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Again, it looks like Goro Majima's got his time in the sun as he is landed on the island, and it looks like they're going back to action RPG, more action-based combat instead of the turn-based stuff, which, you know, might be welcome to some, might be like an ant to whatever, but a lot of like crazy characters, a lot of over-the-topness. Again, Goro Majima and his just wacky, wonky goodness, you know, all of his glory. How do you feel about this, Timmy?
You know, I've never played a Yakuza game, you know.
I would recommend it. I would
I've never done it.
I need to go back and play through all of them, but one of the first games I actually played, I remember playing the fucking demo disc of Yakuza 1 from a PlayStation or some magazine. I think it might have been PlayStation Magazine or whatever. And I think I did that and I played the first one and I liked it. I might have played a couple other ones here and there, but again, another person, if he was here on the podcast today, he would be the utmost evangelist for this damn franchise. Like, I've seen him play it, and I'm again, I got to go back and like really go through each one. Like, I get the collections because they be in sale all the time, but I would say the level of quality that you get and the level of content that you get, like, you get whole arcs, mini games, like they pack this with content and they drop one like every couple of years, like at most. Like, it's surprising to see, but they drop like hella consistently, and every game has so much shit in it. It has so much shit, and it's like good. It's really good story, great characters that you remember, and like it's dope. I think this franchise is actually really dope, and it's grown and really come into its own and just embraced itself over the years. I think it's an underrated franchise. So I would say, hey, listen, give it a shot. I would definitely say give it a shot. I will put my stamp on it. I know for damn sure one would. So
which one do you recommend I play then?
I think he said you have to go back to Yakuza 0. Just to get a gist of who people are, that or Yakuza Kiwami. I think it might have been just a remaster of the first one. I gotta double check those titles, because again, one may be shooting me in his spirit or something like that. He's like, yo, get the titles right, bro. What you doing? But I will send it to you. I will send it to you after the podcast. But I'm sure Yakuza 0 is like where it first started. Like, that's like the first title. And if you don't like it, you can move on. But if you do like are a bit interested from there, start diving into the further titles and stuff. Yeah.
I'll definitely do that, man.
Yeah, so I'd say Yakuza 0 is probably the starting point. But yeah, no, listen, I like it, bro. They're switching it up. They're not going all turn-based no more. Again, everything looks, it's just more Like a Dragon goodness. You know what I'm saying? I can't explain it more than that. It's more Like a Dragon goodness, and I think it's gonna be a really, really fun drop. Unfortunately, it's also dropping on the same day as Monster Hunter Wilds on the 28th of February, so people got a choice to make. So it's gonna be tough, but I have hopes that this is gonna catch some eyes and still be a fun one to get into. But yeah, all right, we can slide forward as well. We had a little bit of a report earlier today. Again, really quick. They're trying to keep us under wraps, bro. But just be honest, because I got a bigger conversation to talk about this one. Again, Tony Hawk himself, he said that there will be a future for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. He said, I'm not sure I'm supposed to tease anything about the future or whatever, but there will be a future, something happening with the series. I got a couple of questions, but one, do you want to see more Tony Hawk in the future, Timmy?
Absolutely. Any opportunity to play some Tony Hawk, I'm there. 100%.
Understand. Next question. What do you want to see, or what would you want to see in a future Tony Hawk installment?
That I don't know.
Would you want them to do something completely brand new, brand spanking new off the rip, or would you want them to pull back from an older franchise?
That is a good question. I think when it comes to Tony Hawk, for me anyway, the thing I love about the games is just being able to skate. So if you can give me that, if you can give me a good skating experience, I'm fine with that, man. Yeah. I'm personally not asking for much.
I hear.
That's just me. I don't know.
I hear. No, I respect that, man. Listen, again, and it's like low barrier to entry. Sometimes you just want to get in there and just like roll around, you know what I'm saying, collect tapes, do tricks, rock around the city. I get it. My brother, again, he loves skating games, and he's on that type of vibe. He's not really like there for any specific reason. He just wants to vibe out and skate and just be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? I would say this. I do want to see Tony Hawk back. Of course I want to see Tony. It's fucking Tony Hawk, guys. It's Tony Hawk. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is Tony Hawk we're talking about. Absolutely want to see another Tony Hawk game. I will say the thing to be careful of is the fact that this space, we talked about this last episode as well, this void that has been left by Tony Hawk and Skate respectively is now being, filled and supplemented with so many more skating games. Again, you see a Skate Story. You see this indie game Reckless that is like a 40-player co-op game similar to Skate. You see Skate coming back with their revamp in the next year. There's a lot more games in this space to fill up, and I just don't want to see another basic Tony Hawk game, because me personally, I don't think the IP and name alone at this stage is enough to like dominate the space anymore, especially with Skate coming back. Skate's his biggest competition. I feel like what they had to offer, I feel like is like enough to make people have a choice. To be like, oh shit, damn, we really got to think about like, okay, is it this one or the third? Me personally, I know I am against nostalgia most of the time. I am against bringing back nostalgic acts 90 to 95% of the time. Absolutely, with no question. But if there's any way you can revamp the essence, the story or some type of narrative or whatever around a Thug or a Thug 2, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like for like, because most of these skaters are literally non-existent anymore. Either they just not here or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But that spirit, I think skating games have missed a strong narrative in it, or just some type of storyline to kind of tie it together with moments on top of the modes and gameplay that they give, in my opinion. That's why I think, again, like Thug, I think it was Thug 2 with like Bam Margera and stuff like that. You go on this world tour and da. Like, I remember that the little kid in the wheelchair who's like had like the whole cast from body to toe, but he was doing tricks. Like, there's that type of thing. I want narrative behind some of these things, and I think Tony Hawk of all IPs has the biggest like pool to kind of dive back into, be like, oh yeah, we could just pull these skaters back out, we could talk about them and bring, what I'm saying, Nigel Houston, this person, that person, blah blah blah, and then just make something new out of it on top of the modes you already have. Again, multiplayer online probably will have to be some aspect of it now, because the game has changed and now Skate's kind of changed that paradigm, so you have to add that in. But I want them to bring something narrative wise on top of their experience, and I feel like then Tony Hawk can definitely quality wise stand on its own. Again, the IP itself would be like, oh, it's fucking Tony Hawk, everybody's gonna buy Tony Hawk. But I want them to bring a solid dimension of an experience back. That's me. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you, man. I agree with you. I like the concept of a story mode in the skating game. Not necessarily like a career mode story, but like, so, quote unquote street level, something street level. I'm down for that.
100. That's all I'm saying. Like, even Skate didn't have a crazy story, but they had like, oh yeah, Coach says, like the little coach or whatever from the from Skate. I think it was Skate 3 or Skate 2. I can't remember. But again, they had those little like tidbits there. There's something to hold it over and add to the experience that you have with the online modes and whatever, blah blah blah. Because this ain't the same space that Tony Hawk could just drop a Tony Hawk 5 Pro Skater remaster and think everybody will eat that shit up. They did it first, but then realized the remaster was ass. They were like, yo, this ain't what is this? We'll just go back to play the old Skate. We'll go back to play Skate 3 and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's not the same space anymore, and I just want them to approach it as such, and I think they do know that. So adding more is important, at least from my point of view. But we can slide on and we can talk about some real quick updates. All the sickos and Disney Channel people alike rejoice because the Incredibles are now in Fortnite, man. Mr. Incredible, Frozone, Mrs. Incredible for you freak bulls out there. Everybody is in the game. It actually looks insane with all the new gliders, the backpacks and stuff. It actually looks super, super cool. Timmy, how'd you feel about this?
I've seen the videos on Twitter.
Dog, it's over.
Any cancel Fortnite, like just cancel it. You lot are nasty. You don't need to go touch some grass. No, do you know what? I've not played a lot of Fortnite, but I like just how much of a spectacle Fortnite has become. Like it's almost like its own entity, I think, outside the gaming in a weird way, because there is just this amalgamation of all these different characters and IPs and licenses that have come together in this game that still does not make sense to me. I know it's I know it's a battle royale shooter, but it still doesn't makes no sense to me, man. It baffles my mind. But you know, if people like it, I love it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
the best way I can describe it is it's if a fever dream was an actual video game. That's really the best way I could describe this, because there's no way the pull of Marvel, Disney, DC, whatever IPs you can think of from just the world of entertainment just exist in this one spot where people just hop off a bus and just shoot at each other. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those things where it's pure fever dream. And again, we've said this on the podcast multiple times. Fortnite is the biggest marketing machine in gaming history, literally because of this. Like their ability to just collaborate with people. They've revolutionized what it means to collaborate in a game state, off of size, off of offering, off of, you know what I'm saying, pure synergy with what they do and what their experience is compared to, you know, what an IP that they're bringing in is. Like they've changed that game literally and figuratively on multiple fronts with that stuff. So I think it's super cool. Again, listen, I get it. We all used to be fans of Miss Incredible, man. You know what I'm saying? That's a nice woman. I understand what y'all talking about, bruh. But y'all freaked out, man. Y'all freaked out. I seen a whole squad of her, Chun-Li, Lara Croft, and some other fourth person. I was like, all right, y'all doing too much, man. Y'all doing too much, bro. Listen, y'all not even playing the game, bro. Y'all hopping off the bus and just doing emotes in one random spot. Yeah, this is ridiculous now, man. Yeah, y'all pick up some guns to get to shoot, bro. This is ridiculous. They can't even take this shit no more. But Fortnite, you're doing a good job still. You're doing a good job. Ain't no way, bro. But we can slide on here. Let's talk about Rocksteady. Now, there's been a rumor floating around that they are starting to go back to basics. What every AAA studio does nowadays. Go back to their roots. They're working on a brand new Batman game, allegedly. Allegedly. You know what I'm saying? Take this with a grain of salt. We don't know for sure. But we seem to have some reason, and there seems to be some chatter, that Rocksteady is going back to make another Batman. So, again, the same two questions are posed to you from the Tony Hawk story. Do you want to see another Batman game back, and what do you want to see from Rocksteady as they go back in?
I don't want another Batman game. I'll be so real with you.
Oh, not even question two. Not even question two.
I don't want a new Batman game, man. Don't get me wrong. The Batman games we've had from Rocksteady have been amazing, and they've created those games in such a way that they elevate the previous one. Arkham City is the best game to date. Injected Batman game.
Injected ever.
But having said that, I hate using this phrase, but we are at the point where we've had Batman fatigue. There's too much Batman. Use what you've learned from the Batman games, the Arkham games, and give us something different. I don't want Batman. I don't want any part of the Bat family. Just give us something different. We crave newness. We crave something different, something unique, something interesting, something that pays homage. I don't mind what it is, but give us something new and interesting. We've reached a point where nostalgia can only take us so far. The nostalgia of Batman, the nostalgia of Batman as a character, reading Batman comics when we were younger, watching Batman on TV, all that has passed. Like, you've got a whole new generation of gamers, a whole new generation of interests that are coming through. We don't want another Batman game. We don't need another Batman game. Give us something different. It can still be a DC IP. Don't get me wrong. You can make a good DC character game.
100.
Just don't make it Batman. Link it to Arkham. I don't mind. Link it to Arkham. I might even be calm too. But just don't make it Batman.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I understand it. It's like, again, I already know if this is true, and there is like smoke, and there's fire where there's smoke or whatever, blah blah blah, and like there's another Batman game coming. One, WB's mad desperate, like, yo, okay, listen, that Suicide Squad stuff, that shit did not work. I'm sorry, guys.
Wait. Hold on now.
Come on now, talk to me. What's up?
Hold on now. What's your beef with Suicide Squad? Let's talk about.
No. I don't have beef with it. I think it's a decent game. I'm just thinking reception wise. You know, everybody hated it because it was a live service. I got no beef with it. I actually don't. I just think the fact that they dropped the, oh hey guys, it's a live service, and they're like, oh shit, we're like, oh okay. I think everybody had that reaction of like, damn, it's a live service. People continually had like I think they had gripes that were necessary with like the writing and stuff and blah blah blah, but I don't think it was that bad. I just don't like the model of it. I don't like it being a live service and we have to go back to fight more fucking brainiacs and stuff and get back each season. I didn't like that format. That's my only like major gripe with it. People got real petty about certain shit. Now I'm like, y'all just talking for talking's sake, whatever. I just think the reception of it, again, because it was a live service and people were, again, the fatigue, it definitely came back in that way. I just think that WB saw the reception of it and they're like, all right, cool, we gotta take this back. We're unfortunately gonna have to bank on nostalgia. If there is truth to this, they're like, all right, bet, we're going back, we're gonna figure this out, we're gonna see what we can do, blah blah blah. My thing is here, we could go back full nostalgia, which I think would not be a good move because you do not have the two people who founded Rocksteady who were a part of each of these Batman games being created. Again, like the primes that we're talking about, Asylum, City, Night, you know what I'm saying, and Origins. They're not there, so there's a problem. If you don't know how to really, again, if the talent that you have there doesn't know how to properly, bring that through and translate it to a modern audience, like a today's audience, don't do it. Do not do it at all. You know what I'm saying? If you can't hire them back or whatever, don't do it. But I know you're gonna try. My suggestion has always been my suggestion. The same thing I think many people are talking about. If you are going to dip into the Batman bag again, if you're gonna keep doing this incessantly, bruh, why don't you just take it to a place where we know we all want to see? Give us Terry McGinnis. Give us Batman Beyond in a game. If you give us Batman Beyond in a game,
I'll take that.
Bro,
I'll take that.
I will take that 7 days of the week, 2 times on Sundays with no problems, bro. You know how long we've been waiting to see that? Oh my gosh, bro. That would work absolute wonders. And again, I think the technical capabilities are there to provide a good rendition of Batman Beyond. I think that the possible translation of what the world is to what, again, like the technical aspects, the technology of Terry McGinnis and Batman Beyond, that is there. I think it's very, very much there. So I think if you go in a direction, you should go in a direction where everybody really under the belly really wants to go. They really want to go. And even if, again, David Zaslav, we got our problems. We got plenty of problems. I got a laundry list of problems with you, dog. But the fact that you still stay in a nostalgic frame of mind doesn't mean you have to fully dip into that pool. You can still have the Batman IP that's familiar, but take it to a place that we haven't seen yet in a gaming context. And Batman Beyond, I think, is the safest bet to give something new and also be in the Batman frame of mind and frame of reference when it comes to IP. So I'm just saying, Batman Beyond will be a fire game, and that would light the streets up. I'm telling you, people would actually be like, yo, nah, Rocksteady might be back off that, because again, they're rep on the back foot as of late. But I think that will be something that gets people really excited to see what comes next from. So I hope it's that, but chances are it's probably not gonna be that. So Rocksteady, again, very, very like squinty side eye, like very investigative side eye. I don't know what's going on over there, but I hope y'all got something good cooking. Yeah, let's definitely hope, man. But we can slide on here. We can get to the trailer trove, the section where we talk about a bit more watchable media. Again, the TVs, the animes, all that good stuff. And let's start off. We got the teaser trailer for The Last of Us Season 2. I believe it's dropping in April of 2025, if I'm not mistaken. Right. How'd you feel about what we saw from there?
It looks like it's going to be great, man. Like, The Last of Us 2, easily one of my top 5 favorite games I've ever played. Like, that game got me, man. That game got me good. And the thing I'm looking forward to the most with this season 2 is the people that have never played the game and know nothing about the story going into season 2 and be like, la la la, oh, you know, let's go, nice go. And then Bye, Joe. I know that sounds really bad. I really mean to say, but yeah, I'm looking forward to like the social media kind of like commentary around like Joe getting his head battered in like the first episode.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm just saying, I really hope that, you know, the team has gotten some consultation from, you know, Tiger Woods, some folks on the PGA tour and stuff, and really just got the gear down, the swings down, just to really capture you know what I'm saying, capture the essence of that moment. I just you know what I'm saying, PGA tour, man, PGA tour. That's all I gotta say, bro. But again, this it's gonna slap. It's gonna do what it usually does, man. The first season proved that they know how to translate this properly, and they know how to create, you know, again, a lot of what people really loved about it, but also translate it to make it something that's palatable for the general audiences that haven't seen it. Good performances across the gaff. Again, it's kind of weird because, like, you know, like Bella Ramsey ain't that much older, kind of looks a bit the same, but you know, you know what I'm saying, just chalk it up to human, you know what I'm saying, it's human nature. Literally, it's been fucking like 2 years, right? Like, there's not much that's gonna happen in between those 2 years unless it's like crazy growth hormones or some shit like that. We don't know, but you know what I'm saying. But I think that, as always, The Last of Us is going to be a very, very well received, you know, show from a critical standpoint. So I wonder what their pacing is. That's my question. What is their pacing across the season? How far are they going to go? Are they going to stretch it to a season 3? Because I remember hearing talks that they might put a season 3 in. So I don't know what the stopping point might even be for this. I'm interested to see what that is, but outside of that, I have no qualms whatsoever with how this is going. I can't wait to see the performance of Abby. God bless that actress. God bless her. I hope she is not getting slandered at all. I hope she has a very, very solid system of support from the studio, specifically, on top of everything else, to make sure that she's in a good standing, because I know how the dweebs get. But outside of that, I'm excited. I'm excited for it too. It's gonna be good. 100. Will it win an Emmy? Maybe. I think they could push for it. They could push for it. We gonna find out though, man. We gonna find out. But let's slide on. We had a couple of stories about Netflix Geeked. I think Geeked Week. They dropped a whole bunch of things, a whole lot of trailers, and a couple of them that were very, very notable. One of them here, an animated series based on Devil May Cry. Now, this is interesting right here, man. April 2025, it will be releasing. Netflix and Studio Mir, they had a couple of other animation, bouts before. A studio from South Korea. They've done a Batman Superman movie from a couple of years ago, a Witcher animated project. They had some real solid work, and it just, I mean, it's Devil May Cry, dog. You know what I mean? Like, it's just Devil May Cry. But Timmy, how you feel?
The animation for that is going to be absolutely insane, man.
Bro,
because fighting alone in Devil May Cry is already insane. So you want to make that animated? Yeah, it's going to be nuts. It has to be nuts. If it's not, I'll be very disappointed.
Bro, I gotta give the full rundown of this shit, because again, look at this. Like, they did Legend of Korra, Black Dynamite, The Boondocks, Voltron, Young Justice Outsiders, The Harley Quinn Show, Skull Island, My Adventure with Superman, X-Men 97 they did up from beginning up to now, and then they did do the other one, the Death of Superman movie, Batman Soul the Dragon movie. Like, they got it. They got it.
I ain't worried.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they got it.
At all, I ain't worried.
Dog, and what an IP to bring through the animation, bro. There's so much flashiness and just style that comes with Devil May Cry in general. It's just like, it's a no-brainer. We have reached the golden period to where game adaptations make fucking sense, and I'm happy we made it. I'm really happy we made it, bro. Like, again, not everything has to be live action, and I'm just glad that people are legitimizing this animation route a lot more. I'm so happy people are seeing it as such a viable pathway to get your IP across, get a project across, and do what you need to do. I think this is, again, it was a conscious shift that Netflix definitely acknowledged a couple of years ago, and I think everybody acknowledged a couple of years ago, and we're starting to see the fruits of that now. I'm happy. Not everything has to be in live action, and I'm super glad we're getting this in prime time animation with big studios collaborating with this, bro. Don't do it in-house. Go to the professionals. Go do the work with the right mediums and the right people, and you can produce some really good results. And I'm happy with how this looks. I can't wait. Man. As simple as that, man. Simple as that. And speaking of Netflix Geek, we had another trailer drop for a upcoming show collaboration with Ubisoft. Splinter Cell Deathwatch. We didn't get much footage, but we got confirmation that Liev Schreiber will be voicing Sam Fisher in the series, in the show. I listen.
Confirmed.
Yes, that is definitely confirmed. That is 100% confirmed. Again, it's not going to be oh my gosh, Kiefer Sutherland. Thank you. I'm about to say name was escaping me. It's not, but I don't mind it at all. Again, I'm not sure when I don't think we got a date for this at all, but it's okay. I'm not even mad. I'm just mad that we're getting a TV show before we get the fucking remake of this goddamn game. But it's all right. It's okay.
They might announce it. They might announce it though. You never know. They might announce it.
They could. I don't know, man. It might line up, but I just give my damn Splinter Cell game, man. That's all I want, bro. That's all I want for these people. But the show looks the show. I'm decently excited for. Timmy, how you feel about it?
It should be good.
Yeah.
Not that I have faith, but I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
It'll be good. It needs to be good.
It def needs to be good. You can't drop Sam Fisher and damn near every single IP except his own damn game and not let it be somewhat decent. You got him doing cameos and everything and shit like that. You paying him like $1,500 per appearance. You got him pimped out, going everywhere else except his own damn franchise. Like what we doing here, bruh? In every damn medium except the one he started from. It's just ridiculous. But I have faith it will actually be decent though. So we'll see about it. And the last story here of the trailer trove, we got an actual rumor here. Some interesting developments from the Hollywood Reporter that there is a movie, a team up film with Batman villains Bane and Deathstroke. That is an interesting pairing of a film that may come through. Again, Matthew Orton is the screenwriter that's apparently attached to this project, and he has worked on Captain America Brave New World, which is set to come out next year. A Batman, Bane, and Deathstroke team up. What do you think about that, Timmy?
It's interesting because it kind of fits into similar conversations I've been having around the sequel to Joker, Folllow. And I like the idea of a Bane and Deathstroke movie on paper, but I don't want it to be centered around Batman.
Yeah,
I think the beauty of the Batman roster of villains is that it doesn't necessarily need Batman to be present for it to be a good movie. In contrast to, for example, the Spider-Man roster of villains who require Spider-Man for them to really shine as villains. So if it's a Bane and Deathstroke movie, team up type thing, we'll see. I wonder who they'll get to direct it, but it needs to be kind of like away from like what we know so far. Very much like the phrase we like to use, Elseworlds type vibes. Yeah, something new, something different. I need it to be violent. I want it violent. I'm not like PG-13. I want it violent, bro.
We need limbs, separations. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like one of them ones. I need
blood spraying everywhere. I need to see Bane crack from back, over his knee. All of that shit. All of it.
Facts, factuals. I want to see it. I'm actually interested. Again, like you said, you hit it right on the head. Prime example, Penguin Show. That's been out now, and that's been absolute crack. I seen the second episode yesterday. I'm like, this show is fantastic so far. And again, it doesn't need Batman to have life. It doesn't need Batman because there's so much that revolves around the city of Gotham and the world that is there. Batman necessarily can't be everywhere in one spot, so things just may happen on their own, and things can move, things have life, things have energy about them. And I love where the Penguin is, and I think, again, like you said, the same can be said for any IP that they choose to really center around other people outside of Batman. I think there's potential for it to work. It's just how and in what way you guys gonna shape this up. Again, I think this one's got to be gritty. This one's got to have some real violence in it. And again, it depends on who you cast as a Bane and a Deathstroke, because that's important. Joe Manganiello's out of a damn, you know what I'm saying, he's in some other work. He can't do that shit no more. So now y'all got to choose again. So you know what I'm saying, like we'll figure it out when you get there. But I will say the idea is not bad. The idea is not bad at all.
On paper, here for it. But we need to see how it's executed.
Honestly. But we'll see in due time. But let's move on here to the other stories from this week. We had a rumor here, another big rumor about Horizon and Guerrilla Games. They're talking about the possibility and the likelihood via Jason Schreier that Horizon Online, an online co-op game, will be Guerrilla's next game for PlayStation instead of Horizon 3, with Horizon 3 being a longer way off than most people would expect. So Horizon Online co-op, talk to me, Timmy. How do you feel about that?
I'm worried. I'm worried, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm worried. I would rather they stick to like a story format game than I'm concerned.
That's not tickling your fancy? What you don't like that? What you mean?
I mean, we just had the debacle and fiasco that was Concord. I'm concerned. Not to say, obviously, it wasn't Guerrilla that created the game, granted, but anything out of PlayStation right now that's like FPS or co-op focused, I'm concerned about. I'm not here for it, man. Nah. We'll see. I don't know, but I'm just not excited for it.
Yeah, I understand. And you know, I fucking agree. This is my thing. All right, we Horizon is unfortunately the recipient of some, I guess, overzealous slander because it's in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know what I mean? I feel like it is Horizon, more than many other franchises in recent times, especially in first party of Sony's IPs. They are caught at the wrong time in the wrong places so many times, whether they release in the week of a giant game that people care more for, or we're anticipating more, or again they're caught with some undue remasters like Horizon Zero Dawn remastered that nobody really wanted because the game in 2017 was looking really, really good for that time and didn't need it whatsoever, and then you jacked up the price of the original so the remaster could just sell whatever. Anyways, tangent. But I think Horizon's story, their narrative with terms of their releases and their reception has been underwhelming because they picked the wrong spots. I personally think this is the wrong spot, albeit as much as I love co-op games, I think the concept I like, because again, I am an absolute whore for co-op games. I personally think they are top 3, if not top 2, if not the best way to play video games. I am very much of that opinion. I love what co-op games do. I love what they bring, and a well-crafted one will give you memories to last an absolute lifetime with people. I am a full proponent of co-op games, but Sony's desperation and penchant to find a multiplayer or live service experience with their first party has gotten very, very serious over the years. It's gotten very, very intense, as again, you can see Concord, prime example. And I think they're trying to wiggle their way into that space and that lane and have an experience in their first party that speaks to it. And they're just looking for any solution that they can. They're looking for any solution that they can to fill this gap, fill this void. And unfortunately, I think Horizon Online Co-op, it feels like it could be a version of, oh, it's their Monster Hunter. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh yeah, we're collecting data on this. We're doing this. Oh, this is our version of Monster Hunter, where we're like, oh, we go out into this wild space, you know, where we're dealing with a bunch of different wildlife, albeit technologically based, but still wildlife, and we're fighting against them. We're dealing with them. We're doing what we have to do on this end, and maybe there could be some elements of like what's the name, The Division, where there's like a dark zone where you can see other enemies and other like co-op units, blah blah blah. I can see the potential in it to be good, but unfortunately this is like a Chrysler 300, but you might be releasing at a time where a Phantom actually pulls up and the real deal shows up, and Monster Hunter Wilds literally next year, and we know Monster Hunter has a long life cycle of consistent content. So when people are there, they're there for a long time. So if you drop a Horizon Online co-op game in the next 2 years, you're running up against Monster Hunter. You're running up directly against them in most cases. If I think the gameplay loop is going to be anywhat similar, which I think there's good reason to believe it is. So you're running up against a Monster Hunter. Yeah, go ahead.
If anything, what they should do is what they did with Ghost of Tsushima and just make the multiplayer in addition to the main game. I
agree. That tack it on. I think the only substantiated experience they had to drop standalone for multiplayer was Factions, and they canceled that shit. So there's nothing else will have room to stand on its own. There's nothing else in their first party that has room to stand on its own, in my personal opinion, right now, than that game that was already canceled. So you have to just either, I would say personally, wait till Horizon 3 and then attach it on. But knowing how Sony is and knowing how desperate they are to have something that boosts their monthly user, boosts concurrent users on an online experience, they're gonna want to push this. They're gonna want to try and test the waters to see what works. And again, I think from a business standpoint, a lot of these companies, a lot of studios in general, they're dropping co-op games as a means to not say full live service or not commit to full live service, but also have an online presence where they can start to maybe slowly drip feed money in some way. Again, I look at Helldivers as an example of that. We're like, oh, it's co-op. It's not really like a full live service, but it also is live service, but it doesn't feel that way because you're with your buddies all the time. You know, it's not like there's ways to mask it a little bit, or at least position it to be more co-op focused, to where people aren't focusing on the live service stuff as much.
Any opportunity for them to give us a battle pass, I'll take it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like this is an opportunity for them to bet it in. And I think a lot of companies are going, they're going the co-op route. Yeah, and they're adding more co-op experiences to, one, get player engagement, because they want consistent, again, player base as an opportunity to get more money from people. So that's like a happy medium that isn't full-blown battle royale live service, blah blah blah. But also, again, to build that potential to have a long-standing, long-living experience that somebody can play. Live services tapped out. Co-op, I think, is the next best battlefront in the frontier that people aren't thinking of yet, because they might see a couple games that have like a little bit of like runtime where blah blah blah. But I think that's the next big battleground for where a lot of these experiences are going to go for multiplayer stuff, because they see the retention possibilities and that being much greater than just dropping a battle royale, dropping some random old live service and saying that's it. Making a more tailored co-op game, I think, is more fruitful to AAA companies and big studios now than just a full-blown live service, because of the retention they could possibly give, and from there the possible profits they can get for dropping a battle pass on the slide, some shit like that. So we'll see. That's just my, you know what I'm saying, tinfoil hat theory and shit. But Horizon as an IP, y'all are good, y'all are cool, I like y'all, you know what I'm saying, y'all do your numbers, you know what I'm saying, it's cool. But I just don't think it warrants a standalone co-op game, especially when there's other games that might have a similar feel that do the job, probably to a bigger scale than y'all. Monster Hunter. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's just see, man. I just gotta shrug my shoulders, cause good luck. Good luck, I guess. That's the best thing I can say to y'all. But y'all are coming into a period of time where it's going to be difficult for any game that isn't absolutely outstanding or groundbreaking in what it does, how it looks, or what loop it delivers to stand up. It's just 2025 and on is going to be a very, very tough time if you're not absolutely breakout quality or breakout something. You have to have breakout something to stand the test, really. You know, specifically at AAA level. Again, indie, AA, I feel like you can be a lot more expressive and still have your audience, but at AAA level, you gotta have some oomph. You gotta have some real oomph in something you do to really stand the test. You know what I'm saying? So, well, I guess Horizon, we'll see. Horizon Online, we'll see. Man. We'll figure that one out, because we don't know, man. We don't know. Oh man, but let's slide on here. Let's talk about Xbox, man. Again, some more rumors here about where Xbox might be heading next. We're thinking, amidst a time where people have been saying Xbox changes their plans like every damn week and nobody knows what's going on anymore. There's been some reports from a couple of sources, but namely here, Windows Central, that the next generation of Xbox may include a traditional style console and a potential Steam Deck like handheld. There might be some way to, you know, really have their first foray into handheld gaming in addition to their traditional console experience for the next generation on. Timmy, how you feel about this one?
I don't care. I'll be so real, I don't care. And I'll tell you why I don't care. Xbox, since the release of the Xbox Series S, Series X, Xbox have been disappointing in terms of the games they're releasing. Their first party games, their Xbox exclusives have not been up to the standard that I was expecting on release. They haven't been up to par with PlayStation. Don't get me wrong, PlayStation's first party releases and exclusives have not been
up to their standard either. Everybody
phenomenal, outstanding. They've been like, it's been a kind of weird middle ground with them. But Xbox have not been delivering at all. We are 4 years deep now, 4 years deep into the release of like the new gen, and there is not an Xbox title that I can think of that gets me excited. That they like since 2020 to 2024, there's not been an Xbox title that I can think of that I've been excited for, or that has really blown me out of the way and say like, oh yeah, they're really here to commit to next gen gaming. People might say, oh, well, Timmy, what about Forza? I'm like, no.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I listen again. I respect Forza, but like, who really checking for Forza to be like the groundbreaking? Come on, dog.
What have Xbox given us that's shaking the freaking table, bro? Nothing. Let's be real, nothing. Nah. And that's disappointing because before that they were making some great games. Give us Sunset Overdrive 2, Xbox.
Facts.
Give us Sunset Overdrive 2, black.
He's spitting.
That's one of your best games. One of your best freaking games, and you man let that shit just die in the background, bro. Give us Sunset Overdrive 2, man.
I don't even do as usually, bro. We need the flex bomb. We need the flex bomb for that. We need the flex bomb for that. We need the flex bomb. The real truth is there.
Okay, like you dropped a new Gears, you dropped a new Halo, that was shit. You dropped new Gears, that was shit. Halo, Fable 5 is Fable 4, Fable 5. Fable 4 is coming out, right? Don't get me wrong, kind of excited for that. But like, what else have you got in the pipeline? Because you're relying heavily on third-party games that we can. Because any game that I can play on my Xbox, my PlayStation, I'm playing it on my PlayStation. Personally, I'm not looking to play it on my Xbox. Xbox needs to deliver better games from their first-party devs that are gonna excite people, and they're not doing that, man. And it's really sad to see.
I agree.
It's really sad.
I tend to agree. They're setting up a lot of good stuff, but it's like, yo, you're setting up a lot of stuff, but where's a spike? If you know what I'm saying, you said a lot of shit. I'm gonna go volleyball terms. Where's the spike? Where's the finish? Where's the follow through with all this shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, again, Starfield, underwhelmed. Hopefully it's on its way back. I know the Shatterspace DLC dropped today as of recording. I hope that's a way for them to drop better stuff as we go along. Again, Fable's waiting in the wings. Avowed's waiting in the wings. Like State of Decay 3, Outer Worlds 2, Elder Scrolls 6. There's things waiting in the wings, but the actual stuff, you know. And again, this is what we've talked about on this podcast a lot. Like their approach is different, but their approach is I think is viable in this game, in this day and age. Like their strategy to try and win and get some legwork in this race that they're in to try and get more market share, be a bit more prominent in the world. But when it comes down to it, people play games to play games. It's about the games. They know it. We all know it. And it's just up to them to deliver that shit. It doesn't, like, again, that's why PlayStation get away with half of the shit that they do, because they can come out in the next 2 years with the Spider-Man game, with Spider-Man 3, or the next whatever game that they got, you know what I'm saying, that Insomniac is cooking up. And they're like, oh yeah, we got this, bro. And it's gonna sell like hotcakes, because it is. I just think they've done themselves a disservice with how certain things have gone. Again, there's a lot of reshuffling things that they have to do. I get it, but yeah, bottom line, I do agree with you on that front. The games, the bottom line of this, the games, they have to deliver, whether they're in this generation or going into the next generation.
Yeah, there's no point in saying, oh, releasing the handheld, releasing this, da-da-da. If the games aren't there, what's the point? You're just creating tech for the sake of creating tech. Where are your games, bro? Where are your games?
Facts, man. I agree. And again, it's like, I can sit up here and say, oh yeah, honestly, my honest gut reaction opinion of this, I think it's smart, because everybody's gonna be fighting on that handheld front. Again, the Steam Deck proved it. Everybody's gonna be fighting there, and I think it's gonna be a tough battle, because once Nintendo drops the next generation console, it's kind of wraps for everybody, because if they get an earshot of this generation console quality, it's just a wrap for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I think you could just pack it up, except for maybe some of the Steam Deck people. Like y'all might have some staying because y'all been here the most, but everybody else go home. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? PlayStation could have been in on this, but they dumbass don't want to support no damn handhelds, whatever.
Now see, I might be a bit controversial, but I like the fact, and I hope they say this way, I like the fact that PlayStation aren't committed to making a brand new handheld device.
I hear it. Explain.
Because I feel like when the PSP came out, the PSP had a good run. It did what it needed to do. It gave us games that we could play on the go, PlayStation games, PlayStation titles that we love. I don't feel like they need to necessarily bring it back.
Listen, I just want payback for the Vita. They shagged me on the Vita, but that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's why I got beef.
Don't get me wrong. If they do, I'll buy it. I'm the person like to buy it, but I don't feel like it's such a necessity right
yeah,
now.
they don't have to. There's no, they don't.
Nah,
they have no incentive to, and they don't need to because they dominate console gaming. You know, and that's just their space in the area, and they can focus on the things that they need to work on. Which I don't think is that much. It's just again the first party shooter problem, which is that's gonna continue to ail them for like thousands of years probably. But still, it's like one of the few problems that they have because everywhere else they got it down packed. Like it's just like how Nintendo, they've dominated games so much in their development process, their creativity, what they put behind their lineups is really good. But then their online services, well, how their console actually like functions outside of just pure graphical power, blah blah blah, it's kind of terrible. It's not good. So they have their slight things to do, but again, it's they have games. They have games they can bank on at the end of the day and say, yo, Nintendo, we got our games, we got our shit. PlayStation, we got our shit. We don't got to do anything. Xbox is like, damn, we kind of got a couple things cooking, but wait, to get back to us, like we can't. I hear you.
If Xbox aren't careful, the console war is going to shift, and it's not going to be Xbox versus PlayStation no more. It's going to be PlayStation versus Nintendo. And if that happens, Xbox are going to be in trouble. Xbox are going to be in serious trouble to the point where, God forbid this happens, but if there ends up being a shift in the console war, quote unquote, Xbox might have to end up being bought out either by Nintendo or by PlayStation.
Yeah, they might honestly downsize and be a third-party publisher. I think is the most likely outcome if shit fucks up.
They're already putting Xbox games on other consoles, aren't they?
Yeah, they already are. Which is like from a business standpoint, I understand you're a huge company and by and large you are a publisher for many things. So I get putting your things on other consoles, but like you're doing all these things that I think are smart. But when it comes down to it, you're still failing because your first party is still like 10 steps behind. And it's like, that's the bottom line of all this shit. Again, I can talk about how smart this handheld move is. I can talk about, again, everybody's making a run for it and stuff. So why not you guys put your shit on there? But if your shit doesn't have any compelling game lineup to put on that handheld in you know what I'm saying, in addition to the main console, what is the point of me picking up your console? What is the point of that? Unless you have some games that are compelling enough to say, yo, I need that over a PlayStation. I need that over a this. I need that over a that. Then what's the point? Again, this is the thing that has ailed this console generation very, very badly. And I think this console generation has been one of the worst, if not the worst with this. Getting games to substantiate this life cycle of a console. Getting games to say, yo, this is worth the buy. All these games worth to buy. We've maybe had for PlayStation maybe 4 or 5. You know what I'm saying? They're like, absolutely, this is a console seller. This is one of these things that I gotta have. You know, for Xbox side, maybe even less than that because of how these games have turned out with certain blah blah blahs. And again, their strategy with putting things on PC and dropping other things there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always down to what games you bring to that platform. So as much as they talk and may develop and dabble with a handheld on top of that, if I don't see no breakout shit, if I don't have undeniable proof that y'all are cooking up crack with like, oh, the next Gears, the next blah, 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 the next, you know what I'm saying? Whatever game that you're dropping, then what's the point? You got to show up and prove. Got to show up and prove. Yeah?
Especially off the Redfall. Oh my God.
Oh my, yo. I forgot about that game entirely, bro. I forgot about that game. It will piss me off too. That game dropped like a day before my birthday, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna treat myself to a new game. And I always have this like favoritism towards things that drop around my birthday, whether it be movies, TV shows, or whatever. I'm like, let me go cop that. Let me see what's going on with that, bro. Turn it on. 5 minutes. I turned that shit off, bro. I was like, bro, I couldn't do it. My friend tried to get me to play it again. I played it some more, and I was like, nah, there's no way. There's no way this thing exists. It's just bad. But again, I have hope for Xbox because I think they should understand this by now more than we all do, that they have to prove with their first party that they have quality that garners first party support, first console support. You know what I'm saying? We need to buy an Xbox for this shit. We need to get involved with their ecosystem for this shit. I see, you know what I'm saying, again, whatever Gears is next, the games I just mentioned a little bit beforehand. What's it called? Oh my gosh, I am losing my mind. What is... No, not Halo. There's another game that I'm absolutely looking forward to that's coming from their first party. Oh, Perfect Dark. Thank you. Perfect Dark Remake. Thank you. Okay. That game I'm absolutely fucking excited for because I love Perfect Dark. But you have things that are potential, but now it is time for you to stick the landing, not on console formats, not on teraflops, sticking the landing on these games. That's it. If you have great games, you can substantiate whatever bullshit y'all do next. That's really it. Because Sony and Nintendo been doing that for years. They've been doing that for years. It's your turn to start doing that.
listen, as long as Nintendo keeps making Zelda games,
bro,
Pokemon games, Mario games, they're calm. They don't have to talk about nothing.
They have not given a shit about their online services for the past 12 years. They do not care about online. They don't care about any of their online play, Ethernet cables and all that business. They don't care. They're like, what's that? Man, cut that shit out, bruh. Take this Echoes of Wisdom, hold that Zelda game real quick, and everybody's fine. You know what I mean? Like, it's just how they roll, because they've built that credit in the bank. They've built that leeway, whether we like it or not. I want them to improve everything, but they have that leeway because of the games they drop, because that's core tenant number one. That is the pillar in the middle of the building that holds everything up the strongest. And if you don't have that, the foundations look muddy. So just gotta go from there, man. Just gotta go from there. We'll see what their plans may look like in the future Xbox. We'll see what your plans look like. But moving on here, I had a story talking about the recently revived Tango Gameworks. We had a whole GameDeveloper.com interview with some of the folks and representatives from Krafton. I believe it was Krafton's CEO, CH, and he was just explaining how they acquired Tango and what was going into it. And it was just a really interesting thought and a really interesting, just conversation. He was like, listen, we can't acquire Tango based on their financials or their numbers. Listen, bottom line, they said, quote, Tango Gameworks are creative. They want to try something new, and we want to do more of that. Making video games is really a hit or miss industry, and that is risk taking, but having more project lineups is actually a way to mitigate risk, because one of them might actually work out. So, just them, their philosophy and them, like, they're penchant to pick up Tango Gameworks, despite the fact that they know they might not make money for them at first. I thought it was really interesting. So, Timi, what'd you feel about some of these comments?
It's an interesting approach, I must admit, but I don't know, Like, they say they're not committed to making games, but read that quote back again.
I got you. So basically, he said, I'll run down the whole thing. Quote, we can't acquire Tango Gameworks based on their financials or their numbers, right? We don't think Hi-Fi Rush 2 is going to make us money, to be frank, he continues, but it's part of our attempt. We have to keep trying to develop games in the spirit of challenge taking. Tango Gameworks are creative. They want to try something new, and we want to do more of that. Making video games is really a hit or miss industry, and that is risk taking, but having more project lineups is actually a way to mitigate risk, because one of them might work out. Right. So yeah, so they're like, hey, listen, they might not make us money, but we know they're a creative powerhouse, and we want to have that on our team, and they got them. That was the main motivation behind that pickup. So I thought that was interesting.
So plenty more projects under the belt to make sure that they have something in the works to make it. Okay, I hear it. But I think I don't know, saying that saying that you don't think a game is going to make money is a bit of a downer, though. I'm sure, like, don't get me wrong, you make games to make games, but you also want your game to make money.
That was also true. I would say this. I feel like this whole business, taking on new companies, acquisition, is an assumption of risk. There are inherent risks that you take with picking anything up in business. That's just how it is. And the fact that they're okay with, potentially seeing not crazy financial gain, it shows that, listen, they're prepared to take a risk on something. But two, the fact that the principals guided them to say, listen, we know what talent they have and what they can bring in this space, and that's something we want to inject more into our umbrella, into our studios, into what we do. And the fact that they provided this decision based on, again, financials that make sense to pick up the studio itself, not necessarily what they can produce potentially, but they're saying, Tango are so creative. Tango have done such good work in the past that we think what they can make, what they can do, the potential of what they are, will give us IPs that are really, really engaging, making a good game, taking that challenge on of making something for us that really engages people, not just the money decision alone, actually assessing the creativity of a studio and what they can provide in terms of their projects and what they can build, not just the money aspect of, okay, how quickly can you put a battle pass on this motherfucking thing? Like, and this is the same company who owns PUBG. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's right. Interesting to see this take. It's kind of refreshing to see this take, honestly. Somebody to actually assess the creative, the creative upside of these studios, and be very transparent about that. I haven't seen that too often where it's like, we know they might not make us money off the rip. We get that. We only got half of their talent back. Other people found other jobs elsewhere because they were hot commodities, blah, blah, blah. but we believe in what they can create so much, and we believe in the infrastructure that, again, Shinji Mikami helped set, so many other people at that studio helped set, that they can create some dope shit for us, and we're willing to enable their exploits, enable their efforts. I think that is understated, and especially for, again, I did a whole video on this as well. Again, shameless fucking plug, but I love Tango, and the fact that Tango has that representation and that recognition of, yo, what we do, not many other people can do. Because again, they can bust out Evil Within, they can bust out a Ghostwire Tokyo, they can bust out a Hi-Fi Rush in a 10-year period. 3 games that have completely different looks, completely distinct different processes, feels, different directors entirely, different processes. Like, they are really flexible when it comes to making a video game. They can go a lot of different ways, and not many people can say that. So the potential to find a spot where it's actually, you know, really like just engaging and is really alluring from a creative standpoint, and people take to it, and it's a place that people haven't been before, that's higher than most in the gaming space with Tango. So the fact that they're taking a chance on that and they're taking a punt on that, I think it's very admirable, and I think it's a strategy that can pay dividends if they are patient enough with Tango. Because if there's anybody who can do what they're saying and what they're asking, it is Tango. They'll just need the time and resources.
Give them time. I think they'll perform.
Yeah, I agree. And they said the first thing they're doing is Hi-Fi Rush 2, and everybody wants that. So they get it's not necessarily the hardest thing in the world. It's a launching pad. And again, it's not out of their wheelhouse, because they've done sequels before. They've done Evil Within 2. They've made that. They've done a similar path to this shit. So I think Tango has found a very decent fitting home by the words of what the CEO is saying from Krafton. I think that they found a solid place to develop and you know, flourish under the right constraints and under the right conditions in the gaming space. I'm just glad that they're up and running and in a place where their creativity is fully recognized as something as an asset to the gaming space.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, honestly, man. So shout out Tango, man. Shout out Tango. And we can slide on here. Let's talk about Assassin's Creed Shadows. Interestingly enough, this joint has been delayed into 2025. It is interesting. February 4th, Valentine's Day 2025, this game has been delayed, and it's been delayed specifically for polishing and making sure this game comes out in the best possible condition. Not necessarily any benchmarking delays and such, but they're putting more teams to commit to, again, fully ironing the issues with this game out. They've changed their season pass policy. They've removed that season pass thing with Ubisoft Plus, and that's gone. It's launching day 1 on Steam as well. So a simultaneous drop on console and Steam as well, which is crazy. There's been so much going on, but I want to address the delay first and all these changes. How do you feel about them kind of pushing it back to give themselves more time?
Good. I don't listen, any dev team that works on the game, if you want to delay a game by 6 months, 3 months, 10 months, so you can deliver the best game possible, I don't care. I'm good with that. I have plenty of games in my backlog that I can play. We all have plenty of games in our backlog that we can be playing. There is nothing to say that because we're excited for Assassin's Creed or waiting for Assassin's Creed, that game needs to come out in November and then we all complain that it's shit. Make the game the way you want to make it perfect, make it whatever. If you delay it by 3 months, 10 months, I don't care. We're good. Because then I have faith that you at least acknowledge the fact that your game's not ready. As opposed to you releasing a game that's not ready, and then there's a day 1 patch, and a day 2 patch, and a day 5 patch, and nah, I don't want that. Take your time. We'll be here. I've still got games to replay, platinums to collect. I'm good. I'll wait. God forbid the game is bad.
100.
Don't take time to fix your game and then the game is bad, because then you fucked us up. Yeah. Then you got me all the way fucked up. But take your time. I'm good either way.
I agree, man. And again, it's just wild. And again, we'll get into the overarching conversation with this as well. But this is the right thing to do. This is just, it's good. Like, I'm just like uncharacteristic thumbs up for Ubisoft, because I'm like, yo, this is what y'all need to do. If y'all don't have the proper time, you get more hands on deck. You make the right policy changes to whatever. You put it day 1 on Steam. You remove the season pass thing. It looks like you're like, this is gonna be a good release. What the fuck? Like, I'm confused. I'm confused because this is a good move. This is like an entirely good move. I can't say nothing wrong about this. Again, like you said, any game that it needs to be delayed should be delayed. You want to drop in the best condition possible. We all do. So screw our timelines. Screw whatever timelines that are waiting for you on the other side. If the game wants to come out in the best condition, do that. Because again, if you don't and you drop in a poor condition, you end up with bad cases, bro. Again, the beginning of No Man's Sky, Cyberpunk 2077, list goes on. You understand. You know what I mean? But the fact that you're doing this, fantastic. Do that. I agree. But to the overarching conversation, one, I think this might run into maybe a little bit of trouble. I won't think too much, but the fact that you delayed this into the same year as Ghost of Yotei is just funny. I'm not saying it's gonna be bad. I'm not saying it's like unfortunate. It's just funny that the one game everybody was like, yo, Ghost of Tsushima 2 is gonna drop and overtake y'all. It's gonna be crazy. And y'all delayed into the same year. I get y'all have to move on your own accord and do your own thing. It's just funny. It's just funny. I'm gonna be playing both. I don't care. I will be playing both because I like what both are offering. I want to see what's going on.
Them releasing on Valentine's is funny though,
bro. It's actually ridiculous. That's bad funny. That's bad. Oh shit. But I'm just like, you know what? Y'all got it. Do y'all thing. Hopefully, we don't got a month release date for Ghost of Yotei. But again, I think it's June, so y'all might have a little bit of leeway to get your sales out and do what you got to do.
It's gonna be November. I think Yotei is gonna be November time.
Interesting. I my hope is that they drop late summer. Give me a June, July, or an August. Give me before the crazy wave, because again, if GTA still drops on time, that is a nuke zone for everybody. That's a nuke zone for every single person. If you're a studio out there as a game, it's a nuke zone. Don't even. That's no fly. Don't even do it. Or craziness. But there's just been more talk and stuff like that. There was apparently a statement. Again, I think Yves Guillemot dropped something recently talking about just the stance of the studio. The quote goes, and I quote, I want to reaffirm that we are an entertainment first company creating games for the broadest possible audience, and our goal is to not push any specific agenda. We remain committed to creating games that everyone can enjoy. And he dropped that in conjunction with the delay. And again, this is definitely without question in reference to a lot of the backlash that they've gotten from, again, the anti-woke folks or whatever, talking about Yasuke and Naoe and stuff and doing their usual bullshit. But there's that on top of the, you know, there was an internal investigation that was launched recently with just the company itself, with like 19,000 staff, how the game is, how their games are actually being made, what's going on with them. Is this Ubisoft's last stand? That is my question to you, Timi. Is this Ubisoft's last stand? Yes,
because I'll tell you why. What was that? Skull and Bones?
Yes. Quadruple A, man. Quadruple A. What are you saying?
Quadruple A game. Utter shite. I'm such one of the most disappointing games to ever exist. Right? Shit. And then you have the state of the Assassin's Creed franchise as it stands, and how far it's deviated from what it was. This is, in my opinion, I think the last chance Ubisoft have to impress us. Because Assassin's Creed Mirage wasn't great.
Nah.
So Shadows needs to be amazing, and I think it will be. But the thing I want to call out, and it's been on my mind ever since the game was announced, and we see Yasuke involved in the game, is that if you go back to 2020, 2021, when we had the hype of Black Lives Matter, and the involvement of gaming studios and gaming brands, all these kind of people talking about their commitments to uplifting Black voices, diversity, equity, all that good stuff, right?
Yeah.
And we get the debacle that we're having now with the commentary specifically about Yasuke. The thing that disappoints me most is that I'm still waiting for Ubisoft to outright say, I'm not being like sugarcoat it or like talk around it, just to outright say that they do not condone or agree with the comments made by so-called Ubisoft fans about Yasuke or this game. That's what I'm waiting for. I need them to be like, we stand by our commitment to being a diverse studio, to tell diverse stories, uplift and support the diverse fans that we've got, and condemn those that choose to use their game, their platform, to talk shit about the supposed things that they support. That is what I'm waiting for, and I have not had that from them, and it's disappointing because not that I was expecting it, but with the amount of vitriol and the volume of vitriol that the game has gotten, and in turn Yasuke as a character has gotten, I expected more from them. And for them to say that, oh, they're committed to, they're an entertainment brand, and they're committed to telling stories that everyone can play, that's air to me, bro. That's fuckery. I don't give a fuck about all that shit.
It is. Yeah, I agree.
It just doesn't make any excuses. I don't care.
It's facts to me. It's wild because the quote, "Nothing is true, everything is permitted," is they took that shit too literal, because you're not proving you're not proving anything to be true or false in this statement. You're permitting all this bullshit from flying at y'all faces, and it's the fact that y'all stock price is literally like $9.37 right now, like $9.37 per share. Again. It's just the fact that they've egged this on for so long. They've not addressed it fully head on. Like you said, they let it build up to this point since the drop of these trailers and whatever, since their rollout, and they come out with this statement that again is just so. It's so wet blanket, bro. It's so wet napkin, bro. It doesn't address, and it's putting their hands off of like, yo, listen, we just want we're for everybody, guys. We're for everybody.
Games, well, and
there's people
just want to make all cool games. I mean, money.
And it's like, bro, and it's like, you've seen the absolute dogfights that have happened over this character, and the fact, not even, again, I can put the other dimension in it as well. The fact that people are just mad, like, oh, why can't we just get a male ninja or a male samurai, blah blah blah. What about Naoe? Because they talking shit on her name too. I don't even want to. You know what I'm saying? Again, most of it has been about Yasuke because he's a black man that is a samurai. He's an actual fucking historical figure that people have already verified that was a samurai. Dipshits. But anyways, like. It's the fact that they haven't outright say, listen, this is a story we want to tell, and this is just how it is. Anybody who is expressing their hate on these characters or through these characters, that's not a fan of Ubisoft. That's not a fan of Assassin's Creed. That's not a fan of that. Because again, as you could probably fucking tell, Assassin can come from a lot of different walks of life, dumbasses. Like, they didn't say nothing about my boy from AC Origins. They didn't say nothing about Bayek. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, again, they ain't say shit about Bayek back then, because this wasn't even a debate, because all these stupid talking heads and sheep got the same 3 talking points from the past year and a half, and now the whatever Gamergate 2.0 blah blah whatever you want to call that sprouted back up, and people just have this unfounded chest to say all these things in the name of DEI wokeness, when it's really just bigotry, and you stupid motherfuckers are trying to run with it to the ground because you think you're fighting some imaginary war that has nothing to do with you, because you have nothing to fight for, actually stand for in your lives. Different topic, but it's still poignant here. Like, it's just very, very, very disheartening to see that people on the other side that see this hate are more again, they care more about that stock price. They care more about the fact that they're in a strenuous position, where I think focusing on the fact that you're making a good experience and standing on that and blocking out anything that may deter you from telling that story in its full, honest truth, or whatever you want to apply to it, I think that hurts y'all. I think that hurts y'all on top of everything else. Makes y'all look weak, makes y'all look, y'all not principled. You know what I'm saying? How can I put my trust in the product sometimes when, like, y'all don't even want to put trust in, people who might want to play or experience it? That's just that. So it's just interesting. And just to, again, double down on you with the question I asked earlier, this is definitely Ubisoft's last stand. This is definitely Ubisoft's last stand. I look around the landscape of Ubisoft, bruh. Like, it's crazy. Beyond Good and Evil 2 don't even exist no more. That shit is not, that's just not even it's not even a thing anymore. It's not even a thing. It is not even a thing. Like, that's gone. Rainbow Six has been, grinded into obscurity. Like, people don't really like, there's tournaments, esports, blah, blah, but it's not mainstream thing no more. It's down the pecking order. It's not there. Whatever Tom Clancy is just not even happening. Where's my remake? Side note, sorry, that's my petty beef. Okay, I'll let that one slide. But still, you got Wildlands or whatever, The Division, all these other things that aren't even there. Far Cry, I don't even know where that is. I don't even want it back. I haven't even finished 6. Like, there's just no incentive to really go back because I don't care that much. All their other IPs are just not in the space that they should be. And here we are relying on the same IP that got them into the game to save them yet again. It's just crazy that their processes, their development, their vision, what they've tried to do has been so off for so long. And it's so disheartening to see from a studio that I think a lot of people love, bro. When they first started, it was universal love.
Ubisoft was that studio.
Everybody loved Ubisoft.
100%. And it's just been downhill slowly. And I don't understand why. I really don't, man. Skull and Bones was bad. I'm sorry, man. I go back. Skull and Bones was so fucking disappointing, man. With all the hype they built, delayed again, working on it. We're gonna make it better. And when that first closed beta dropped, oh my god, oh my god. I'm not even gonna name names. That'd be bad. But there were industry people who I follow on Twitter. Industry with burner accounts, bro, and they're tweeting for their burner accounts that they hate this game. They hate it. I was like, yo,
listen.
Up with that one,
the only people who won from that game was the Singaporean government because they got their money back. That's literally it. That's the only people that won. The only people that won from that exchange. Everybody else lost. It's ridiculous. And again, we all have to look back. Everything else is in the gutter. Everything else is in shambles for Ubisoft. This is 1,000,000% their last stand for survival and uptick, or else they are getting spun off, they're getting laid off, they're getting sold. Something's happening if this game is not a critical and commercial smash. This is literally the last line of defense for Ubisoft. It's scary. I want them to still be here, but I also want them to do better. I want them to do better from a statement standpoint, condemning the bullshit that is rampant in this industry, and it's plaguing actual common sense, common discourse, and just existing as human beings. I want them from a gameplay development standpoint to be in a better place with how they, again, make certain things, the differentiating experiences, not being so cookie cutter with certain things. I want them to innovate. I want them to bring stuff that we all love and enjoy and bring a new feel to them. From all these different standpoints and dimensions, I want them to realize the full potential that they can do. Again, they drop games like, what's it called? Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, top of this year. Great fucking game. Great game. But again, gets drowned out. Why can't you support more games like that to help bring something through? Again, it's the same IP. It's something that's old, but still the experience was different. And that's something that I think should be championed. That's something that should be put on more often. But again, here we are, falling back on Assassin's Creed again. There's only so many times this IP can save you. Maybe they have one more time in them. Maybe they do. But this is the one instance where everybody wanted this series to go. Japan with samurais and ninjas. After this, I don't know what happens, but they better hope that this is one of their best-selling games of all time. I want it to be too, specifically despite all the people who are slating this game because of the anti-DI bullshit. I want it to. I want them to win. I do, but this cannot be the flash in the pan that just holds their entire studio over. This can't be the one instance in the whole next 2 years that says, oh man, this was the best commercial and critical smash we had, and there's nothing else that comes into range of it in either category. There has to be more. There has to be more, man. AC Shadows, man, listen, the delay is perfect. I think the fact that they're even doing these things, the fact that they went Steam day one, they got rid of the battle pass, they're making good decisions on behalf of the gamer. They're making the game experience and the development process better for the gamer. Like, I've never seen them move this consistently for a big project like this, and that's been so publicized. Like, oh, they are doing good. And it sucks that they're only doing this much good because of the fact that I think that they know, we know, the space knows this is their last chance to really, really make a hit in the mainstream and put their company in good standing. Sucks, man. Sucks.
But
it is what it is, man. But before we get on out of here, I gotta start, plugging everybody's stuff and just asking the question before we get on out of here. Again, we're getting close to the end of the year. It's Game Awards season. Smells it. It's on the horizon. It's coming through. And I gotta get your take on what you think Game of the Year is so far. Who's in the running? Who's in the race? Give me your objective. Who do you think is in contention to win the award?
Okay. I'm gonna say from what I've played and what I've loved this year so far, Dragon's Dogma 2 was impressive. Black Myth Wukong was incredible. I still haven't finished that game, but everything I played so far has been amazing.
Heavy agree.
Astrobot deserves to be up there. Amazing game. Amazing game. Like, can't even fault it. Can't. And let me think.
I think there's a couple out there.
Those are my contenders, man. I can't lie. I don't know what's out.
Fairs.
Yeah.
I could say.
So
I could throw you. People have been saying Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. They've been saying Stellar Blade could be in there. They've been saying Warhammer Space Marine 2 could be in there. They've been saying Helldivers 2 could possibly get a shout outside there. They've been saying we'll have to see. Metaphor Revantasio might be in there. If it has a favorable release, which the people have been pointing to. I don't know. Any of those stand out? You might want to throw those in there.
Definitely not Helldivers. The Helldivers doesn't deserve to be in that conversation. I'm sorry.
Damn. Why? Why?
It's fun, but it's not Game of the Year contender for me. Nah.
That's fair. That's fair.
It lacks polish.
I would be slightly surprised if they do get in. I would personally want to get in because, again, it's one of my personal favorite games of the year. I think I had a really good experience with it. So I'm a fan of it.
Don't get me wrong.
But comparatively to other things, it would definitely fall short in certain regards. I agree. I can concede that one. But fair. All right, I understand that. So there's the objective game of the year list. What are your favorites running so far for your game of the year list? The person.
Astrobot's at the top for me, man.
A word.
I would love to see Astrobot win Game of the Year.
Dog.
Like that game is probably the. Bro, I can't even talk. That game gave me bundles of joy, just unbridled joy, and I've not felt that way from a game for a long time, man.
Yeah.
Like, we're not there's not real focus on the story. It's just fun. You know, when the game is fun, you can just chill and enjoy it. That was Astrobot for me, man. And in turn, there was also moments where it was challenging, and I do like a good challenge, but I can't fault that game. I really can't. It was just a near flawless game.
Word.
Yeah, I needed to win. I needed to win for sure.
Nah, again, I talked about this last week as well. Last episode. I'm like, if it wins, like the precedent that shit would set on the entire industry, I think that would be crazy. That would be crazy, and in the best possible way. You got all these heavy hitters, like again, like the Final Fantasy VII Rebirths, the big nostalgia. You know what I'm saying? The big, again, the nostalgia based games, the big open world games, the big live services, blah blah. Yeah, all these other things, and then platformer comes back in, takes Game of the Year. That shit would be insanity, and I would love it. It would be chaos. Even over a game like Black Myth Wukong, a game where I personally that's a game I've been wanting for literally like 3 years now. Like, I wanted that game, and I've been thoroughly enjoying every minute of it. But I think personally it has some drawbacks to it, for one, and two. If Astrobot takes the moment over it, I would have no problems. I would have zero problems. You know what I'm saying? For Astrobot winning. So fairs. I respect that. I respect that list, man. I respect that right there. With that being said, though, that's all the notes we got for the show, man. I thought we done barreled through that. Okay, that's solid work. I don't think that we missed anything. I don't know if any like news stories or whatever popped on your timeline, because last week we did have like the whole Power World getting sued and shit happen like mid podcast. So and that was the
we
thing.
didn't even talk about Power World coming to PlayStation, bro.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that in the show. Damn. Hey, listen, they said I don't care about the charges. I'm still pulling up. What you gonna do?
Right.
What you gonna do? Shit is crazy. But I don't know. Anything that we might have missed outside of that from this week?
Not that I can think of, man. Nah, I think
Yeah.
we covered most everything that's interesting.
Yeah, I think we're solid, man. I think we're solid. But with that being said, yeah, we made it through, man. We made it through. Listen, I am absolutely like glad. My heart is fucking smiling, bro. I appreciate you for coming on to No Cooldown Podcast, man. Listen, we appreciate you so much, bro. Lee, can we get your closing notes? First, give us a closing statement, and again at the end, make sure you can double down on where we can all find you.
Ooh, closing statement. Fuck all you DEI complaining motherfuckers. Fuck all you lot. All you men are complaining about DEI, complaining about wokeism, complaining about there's LGBT here, all this kind of shit, and there's black people here. Fuck all of you. You people are a minute number of people within this space. I just happen to have a very loud voice on Twitter. Fuck all you, man. We're gonna be out here playing games all day, every day. So fuck you lot. Where can you find us?
Hit that bomb. You need that bomb one more time. You need that bomb.
So like I said, we the Nerd Council you can find on Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube. The Nerd Council.co.uk. My personal socials, I'm Uncle Timi on everything. That's UNCOOL Timi. Yeah, man. Listen, we've still got 3 months to the end of the year. Might have an announcement or two coming up on our side on things we're planning for 2025.
100.
But yeah, I'm just looking forward to Dragon Age in October, bro. Yeah. That's my main thing right now. That's gonna take up all my time when that comes out. But yeah, that's just been fun. I really appreciate you having me, man. It's been good to kind of unwind after a long day at work and just chat some shit about games, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
100, bro. Listen, we had to get you on here, bro. Again, this is the no cooldown policy, man. First time we got to get you in just for the, you know what I'm saying, to cover the news and usher you into the system a little bit. But next time we catch you, we got to do the full breakdown, the interview, you know what I'm saying, the journey and all that stuff. We got to half and half it. So we'll see you for that next time. But 100%, bro. Absolutely appreciate you for pulling up, dog. It was absolute fucking pleasure. Make sure y'all follow the Nerd Council, Timi, everywhere, all his channels. I will have them in the description box and wherever we have this uploaded so y'all can catch that easily if you didn't catch it on the audio itself. Listen, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you rate this podcast 5 stars, baby. Thank y'all for just all the love for coming through. Damn, man, games, bro. Gaming is alive right now, bro. The end of the year is about to be crazy. We got a lot of stuff to cover, a lot of stuff to get through, but don't worry. We will be here every step of the way with y'all. No cooldown, not going any damn where. This has been That Man Trip. This has been that Uncle Timi from the Nerd Council. We appreciate you, gang. This has been episode 104 of No Cooldown Podcast, and we are out of there. Peace.